Okay, here's part two. What we're going to create is what we call a Venn diagram. Usually you get two circles for a Venn diagram, but I purposely made our plant cell a square, okay, or a rectangle in order to kind of help us remember its shape. Okay, hopefully the glare is not too bad. All right, so I'm going to throw out an organelle or a characteristic, and then I'm going to ask where we're going to put that. Okay, so anything that's an animal cell is going to go over here. Anything that's only a plant cell is going to go over here. And then, of course, in the middle of a Venn diagram, that's where we put our similarities. And the organelles that they share together, we're going to put in the middle. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start with an organelle that's really important, the nucleus. The nucleus is in both plant and animal cells, so we're going to put that right in the center. Remember, the nucleus is the boss and is in control of all of the other organelles. Okay? All right, next I'm going to say lysosome. Okay, that's a tricky one. We learned that lysosomes are only in animal cells. Lysosomes, like Lysol, okay, help to digest or break down old cell parts, the garbage from the cell. Okay, how about a vacuole? A organelle that's able to store is going to be actually in both. If you look at the picture, you can see that in plant cells it's much larger, but they actually both have vacuoles. Sometimes students think it's just in plants, it's just bigger because they need to store more water. The next one we're going to do is ER, endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, you guessed it, that's in both plant and animal cells. Along with the ER, sometimes there are small little structures called ribosomes, and those ribosomes make protein. And protein is needed for both animal and plant cells. We're also going to put the ribosomes in the middle. As you can see, they share a lot of characteristics and organelles in common. Let's talk about one that might be different. A chloroplast. A chloroplast we just talked about is for photosynthesis. It is green because it's filled with a pigment called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll fills the chloroplast. And if you guessed that we're going to put that on the plant side, you are correct. Chloroplast. Okay, and underneath that, you can put chlorophyll because that is a pigment only found in plants. Okay. Next, we're going to say the Golgi body, okay, and that's the packaging center, and we're going to put that right into the middle. Sometimes Golgi apparatus. Okay, all right. What do we have left? Well, we have the cell membrane. Now remember, the cell membrane is the boundary that allows materials like a gatekeeper in and out of the cell. Okay, it has small, tiny little pores or holes that allows materials to enter and exit. Okay, because of that, it helps to get rid of the waste as well. And we're going to have to put that, you guessed it, not just on animal, not just on plant, but in the middle. That one gets confused a lot because students think that only animal cells have them, but they both have a cell membrane. So we might want to star that one to help us to remember. Both. Okay? Okay, however, because of the square shape or the rectangular shape, there's an additional structure on the outside. And so even though they have a cell membrane, on the outside of the cell membrane, a plant cell actually has a cell wall. Okay, so we're going to add that, and we're going to say only in plant cells do we have what we call a cell wall. I'm just going to tilt this so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so we have chloroplast, chlorophyll, cell wall. Okay, we have only lysosome that seems to be over there. Okay, both of these cells, okay, are going to be able to go through some processes to get energy. They both need energy. So that mighty mitochondria is a super important one, and it is also in both cells. Mitochondria. Okay, very nice. Okay, so now I want to talk about the word heterotroph and autotroph. So plants are considered autotrophs because they make their own food, okay? And that process is photosynthesis. So we're going to put that over here, that they go through photosynthesis, which means they're autotrophs. They automatically make their own food. And last but not least, okay, that means that they make glucose, sugar. Okay, those are just plant cells. Animal cells do not go through photosynthesis, but over here, they both have mitochondria. So remember the process, right? The cell phone, the cellular respiration for energy. Remember that that happens in both plants and animal cells. All right, we're going to make sure we can label both parts of the cell in the packet pages, okay? Page 19, you can use the textbook, and then page 20, you can continue to use the textbook, but we're going to label the diagrams, okay? Have a wonderful day. That's the bell.